Hello and welcome to Dealership Digest. It's TLN Teeny here with my co-host Chris Paulino, and we have a great show for you today. Chris, what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about selling at your dealership, right? How to sell, your customer journey, your sales process, getting the lead for your sales team, because that's the bread and butter of any dealership, right? If we're not selling cars, we're not selling RVs, we're not selling our units, then we're losing a lot of money, right? We're paying the bank's interest on our floor plans, and it's not a good deal, right? So that's what we're talking about today.
Wonderful. And in that you're not going to be in business for a long time if you're not selling cars or trucks or
Yeah,
ATVs or
right.
whatever you're selling.
Yeah.
And today it's 2020, so the customer journey is changing. It's totally different from the 1960s, so that's a huge thing in sales, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about as a dealership, what is my customer journey, right? Because if we're not marketing to the places our customer is visiting in that journey, right? Then, if they're looking on YouTube and you don't have videos of your RVs from your dealership or your cars, we could be missing out on that customer,
I
right?
totally agree. And especially like with changes to the website that you can make these simple things like the live chat option that creates real-time communication that can get your customer in the door in a couple hours or I mean minutes even if they're close.
Yeah. Yeah, Facebook Marketplace, live chat options. I mean, the customers, they're looking at Google, they're looking reviews, they're looking Facebook reviews, they're asking, their friends, their family, they're going to Facebook groups. Maybe there's a local RVer, right? They're looking for a new floor plan. They might go to some RV Facebook groups and talk to people in that group and say, hey, what RVs do you have? What dealerships have you bought from, right? So customers have a very unique way, and each one is different, but they're all shopping online. They're looking at reviews. They're looking on Google. They're comparing your pricing with other units' pricing. They're looking on the internet at different dealerships across the board, and maybe not even just your state. Maybe even, at least in the RV space, in different states across the U.S. because the pricing is so different for, similar floor plans. So, you have to understand that customer journey.
For sure. And what I think, the big game changer is if dealerships understand that the more breadcrumbs they put out, the more trails back to their dealership there's going to be. And, between Facebook Marketplace, like you said, Google reviews, YouTube videos, Instagram posts, TikTok videos, like you can put out so much content to lead the customer back to your dealership. It's crazy if you're not taking advantage and doing it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, little things like if you have, we talked last week about millennials and having millennials on your sales team that can do things like, if you're an RV dealership, car dealership, making TikToks, right? They know how to make TikToks. They might be on the platform, and your older salesman might not be doing it, but if you can have your younger salesman doing those breadcrumbs, extra videos on TikTok, Instagram stories, Facebook stories, some of those other things that you can do, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, that, the older salespeople don't want to do, don't have comfort with, but the young salespeople do. That's a way to add extra breadcrumbs in that customer journey because we're getting people on live video, we're getting them from our blogs, maybe, from our TikTok randomly, from our Instagram story. Where if we're not doing those things, there's no way to possibly get that customer that's at that portion or at that part in their journey.
I totally agree. And if customers are, shopping around for a while, usually, you see that in the RV world. People are looking for quite some time. They're going to see
Yeah,
all these little breadcrumbs and like these little pieces about your dealership
shopping
all
for
over.
20 years straight.
Yeah, exactly. So they're going to see, all this branding on your dealership for quite some time. And then when they finally get ready to pull the trigger and make that decision, you're the first person that comes to mind. So it's huge.
Yeah, and that's a big portion, right? Staying in front of our marketplace, getting the attention from our customers from our marketplace, right? Because, like you said, not every customer that's in the journey that's looking at your website is going to buy today. Maybe they're honestly going to buy in a year, right? So we have to be ready to capture them in a year. Maybe their favorite form of communication is emails, but we don't have an email marketing platform or an email marketing campaign. Well, we could be missing the boat, right? Because if they signed up to 5 different dealerships' email campaigns, and your competitor is hitting them in their email every month, they might go to that dealership over yours simply because they've stayed in front of them for longer than you have.
Exactly. And I think that brings up a good point that if your dealership doesn't have a sales process for, different stages of the customer journey, you're missing out. You need to definitely go back to the drawing board and you need to make that a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, different sales process, different sales funnels and lead funnels to generate that lead from, the customer journey, right? Because if our customers are searching online, they're reading our reviews, they're liking them, they go to our Facebook, they like the interaction, they message us on Facebook, and, we're prompt in answering them and answer their questions and do all the things we need to do to be there for our customers. Then, when they're ready, they're going to give you that lead, right? And that's, kind of the next thing, right? We constantly talk about getting the lead, setting the appointment, getting the customer to start that conversation with your sales team because, well, if we're capturing them on our customer journey and getting them on our website and they're reading our reviews and they love our dealership, but we don't get the lead, we don't start the conversation with our sales team, we don't get the sale.
For sure. And I think you have to make that a priority. It's to make it easy for them to communicate with you because, you have great content and, everything's groovy on your website, but you don't have, nice buttons for them to click or you don't have a way to connect with them to get their lead information. You're wasting your time because we want to get the lead, book the appointment, make the sale.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. You getting the lead. One big mistake I think dealerships make across the board is they're giving you all the information right up front. They give you their lowest price. They give you all the information you need. And then what happens, think about Amazon, why they're, the first $1 trillion evaluated company, is because people are put up, they have all these products online, and you can literally find the cheapest with the best reviews. So you have a bunch of people price shopping on Amazon. If you're a dealership and you provide your lowest price for your RV, for your car, then what do you think your customers are doing?
They're going to shop you.
They're shopping you. They're saying, hey, local RV dealership, this dealership in Ohio and Michigan, just down the road from me, wherever, is selling this RV for, $5,000 less than your RV. Will you match the price here? I can show you right on their website. Go to xyz.com, rvdealership.com, and look, here's the price. Either price match me or I'm driving up the road to the next dealership.
So you're really hurting the market.
You're hurting the market, you're hurting yourself, right? And really, again, we got to create that lead, right?
You have to create the lead. And then I totally agree with you in the fact that there needs to be touch points of communication before you just give them, just give it all away. So I think the more that we teach salespeople in the sales process, and the more they train, the more they learn, the more they study, the more confident they're going to be in not giving it all away, but like qualifying the customer because you might give them a internet price for a car that they're never going to have credit to qualify for, and you literally just shot yourself in the foot.
Yeah. And that's another thing I hate, too, to be honest, the internet price. It's like, okay, so the price is going to be different if I walk in from the street? No, it's the same damn price. So why don't you say, hey, this is a golden nugget here for you dealerships. Make it so your customers have to give you their name, email, and phone number for your lowest price. Right? Say, hey, this is somewhat our price, but if you want our lowest price, give us your name, email, and phone number.
I saw something pretty interesting because me and my husband are actually in the market for a car right now, and we were looking at different websites, different lots. There was this one company, which I don't know if I totally agree with this, but I just found it so interesting that they require you to give them your information before you can even look at their online lot. Like I said, I don't know if I 100% agree with it, but at the same time,
That's aggressive.
Yeah, they're thinking and they're doing something different, and that's why it was like an awe factor,
Did you give them your information?
No, I didn't.
Ooh. See, I mean, I think that's the one thing, right? That's a friction point. Not everybody's ready to give you their information, and that's part of that customer journey we spoke about, right? Because they could have had a great car for you, but you would never know because you didn't get to look at it. And if you would have seen a vehicle on their lot that was like what you were looking for, and they said, hey, to get our best price on this vehicle, give me your name, email, and phone number, you probably would have did it.
Yeah, most likely.
And then their salesperson, their BDC department, however they have it running, calls you, sets the appointment, gets you in so that you can start that sales process with, the customer and with your sales team.
And you also bring up another good point, like the BDC and the sales team have to work together.
Yeah.
There's tension with all that, and even the structure of the BDC team. Managers have to make sure that they're just setting boundaries with this BDC and the sales team, and making sure everybody's working together rather than opposing each other, or the egos get involved and stuff like that. I mean, anyone who's worked in a dealership kind of understands this. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good point. You have to make sure, and this goes against marketing too, right? You always hear that, old saying that, people will say, oh, marketing and sales hate each other, right?
yeah,
They never work well together, right? But, that's the opposite of what should be happening. Our marketing needs to create the lead for the sales team, and then our sales team needs to close the lead. That's a very cohesive ecosystem there. There's no reason a marketing team should hate the sales team and the sales team should hate the marketing team. You guys got to be working together. If your BDC department has a pay structure that doesn't cohesively work with passing the customer to a salesperson, it's going to create unneeded friction in your sales process, and that's going to be bad for the dealership. So we got to make sure that getting the lead is cohesive, our marketing is cohesive, our branding is right, and that we're set up to get the lead from our marketing, right? Capture that customer during their customer journey through Facebook Marketplace, YouTube, live videos, pictures, email marketing, blast, text messaging, chatbots, and whatever we're using to get them.
everything
Right?
under the sun.
Everything under the sun to get that customer through their journey as a lead. And then once we get that lead, we need to make sure our sales process, our BDC process, our setting the appointment process, our closing process is set in place so that our customers are dealing with, so that our sales teams are dealing with our customers most efficiently.
For sure, and that just comes with an experienced management team, I believe.
Yeah, no, I would agree. It has a lot to do with management, right? Because if the managers aren't, let's say they're not training the sales team, right? They have no training process, they have no RV sales process, they have no car sales process. That leads to salesmen wasting time.
And the BDC department doesn't want to give these leads over because they know that the salespeople aren't going to close them anyway,
Yeah.
so they're losing money depending on how they're paid.
That's a good point. Not every salesperson is the same there, right? So you have Johnny, who's the master closer, but Fred, Sally, and Sue, they can't close a deal to save their life. So the BDC department is sending Johnny every lead they possibly get, which I'm sure Johnny likes that, but it's not a good growth strategy for the dealership as a whole, right?
Not at all.
If we're training our salespeople on sales process and our BDC department feels comfortable passing a lead because they know that, when I give it to anybody on the sales team, they're going to set the appointment. They're going to get them in. They're going to show them a unit. They're going to test drive them, demo the product, demo the RV. They're going to write them up on a contract, show them the numbers, and they're going to ask to close them 5+ times.
Yeah, and we had an experience today where the internet team got us in, set the appointment, everything was groovy. We went into the dealership, but when we got there, we weren't qualified. There was no, they didn't ask us for the sale. We walked out without speaking to a manager. So that just tells me that the process is not dialed in.
Yeah, and you're a salesperson at heart, so it's actually easier to probably close you than it is to close an actual real customer that's not a salesperson. I know me, I'm a salesman. I'm the easiest close in the world because, well, I know the gambit, right? I don't like to beat up dealerships when I buy something. I don't like to beat up realtors on my house value, things like that. And some people might think that's a mistake, but the way I look at it is, I don't want my customers beating me up on my products. I'm not going to beat them up on their products.
You're about to get 20 emails from
Right,
salespeople
I'm
trying
gonna
to get you to
tons
buy
of
things.
people. They're going to be like sending me everything. Oh, you need this, you need that. But the truth is, if I'm in the market for your product or service, I'm ready to pay for it at full price. That's just me. So, but my point is this: is not every customer's like that. Most of them aren't like that. Most of them are nitty gritty. They're walking out over $100 difference, right? So your salespeople have to know how to handle those customers. What kind of sales process do we need to have? Why we need to interview and qualify them, even if they're coming in to look at a specific car, because they might be coming in to look at a car or an RV that doesn't truly fit their needs. right?
Then they're going to be unhappy in the long run, you
Unhappy
know.
in the long run. You sold me a piece of shit that I didn't want, that I didn't need. The dealership just wants to, sell a unit, and I'm another number, right? Imagine you have a customer come in for an RV, and they come in looking at the wrong product. You interview and qualify them so well, and you say, hey, honestly, to fit your needs, you need this product. And then you show them and demo that product, and transfer through emotions and kind of get them to vision why they need this product and why this floor plan is actually better for what they're trying to accomplish. And they're like, wow, you know what? This is the floor plan we need. I'm glad you changed our mind, because we were going to buy that other floor plan and it would have been terrible when we were actually using it.
Yeah. I know we actually, had a customer on an RV like that where a year later they're not happy. They want to trade it in, but they have negative equity. So now they're, it's
Tons of
double
negative
whammy. They're
equity.
super sad.
You buy the wrong RV. I don't know how many of you are in the RV industry out there. You buy the wrong RV the first year and you try to trade it in next year. Good luck. That negative equity is going to eat you alive. So that's why it's important to have a good salesperson and to deal with salespeople that have a good process. Because if you have a good process where you're interviewing and qualifying every one of your customers so well that you know their true emotions, their true wants, you know why they're using the RV, the car, how they're going to be using it, where they're going to be going, what they need the vehicle or the RV to accomplish when they buy it. If you know all that so well that you can say, hey, this is your RV, this is your car, this is the one you need to buy. And then they start saying, oh, well, you got to think about it. Then you just, you know so deep as a salesperson that's the unit that they want. Then you just say, well, I hear what you're saying, but let me ask you this. Why do you want to keep waiting? Why do you want to keep waiting on buying this car when this is going to fix all your problems? Buy this car today. It's the same price as your other car. There's no reason for you to leave today without buying this vehicle.
And that just comes with, experience being being a seasoned salesperson, because
Yeah.
a lot of rookies, they're not going to do that. They don't know what to do,
No, they're going to let you walk.
Yeah, they're going
They're
to
going
let
to
you
say,
walk.
well, okay, call me next week if you want to buy that car. And do they ever call back? You know what happens? Because this has happened to me. I've been burned a lot. I've been in sales for a long time. I used to think that, well, if they would really want to buy it, they're going to call me back next week and buy it. And then, I work up the courage to call that customer. And then oh, yeah, we bought a car from the other dealership, right? That's what happens every time. Oh, we already bought a car. Thanks for following up with us. You were great.
You're
Oh,
right.
so great.
Even
Why
in
the
the
fuck
BDC,
didn't you buy the car from me?
even in the BDC department, it's like that. So you have to be an active closer. I mean,
Yeah.
BDC, you're just setting appointments and stuff like that, but you're still selling the appointment.
Yeah.
So if you just, if you're scared and you just don't want to bother them, no, you need to make sure that you're qualifying them, you're helping them, and you're doing your best to set the appointment and not being weak,
Yeah. Because the fact is if you don't close them past 5 times, or if you don't ask for the sale more than 5 no's, some other good salesperson's going to do it.
They're going to do it.
And if you have them in your dealership, at your lot, if you're presenting numbers, now is the time to get your customer to make that change, buy the RV, buy the car, because it solves a problem for them, right? It fixes a need that they have in their life right now. And that's why they need to buy it today instead of waiting for next week.
And you're a firm believer in always doing a write-up, right? Even
Always
before
a
they
write-up.
leave.
100% of the time, your customer should get a write-up, because if they don't, they can't buy a car. When in an RV dealership, car dealership, have you ever sold a car without a write-up?
0?
Never. So get the write-up, get the lead, make sure you're hitting your customers when they're in their journey, and just focusing on getting that lead and closing the deal. Because if you're not selling units, selling cars, selling RVs at your dealership, you're going to go out of business and you're going to get bought by the next bigger and better dealership.
Mm-hmm. Bigger fish eat smaller fish.
That's right. This is Dealership Digest. You got Tia and Chris here. We thank you for being a part of the show. Come back next week, and we're going to teach you more on how to sell more units at your dealership.
Check us out on Spotify, too.
Thank you for watching Dealership Digest, presented by IMR.
For more episodes, subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our Facebook page.
And if you need digital training for your dealership, visit us online at imr.training.
Or infiniteMediaResources.com.